Welcome back to another edition of HBCU Hour. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. Daniel D. Williams in the house.
What up?
Pooh Bear Jr. over the shoulder here. Rocking new merch. Show him that shirt. There you go.
Pooh Bear, baby.
Yeah.
With that said, let me go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage.
The Golden Boot Pod is proud to announce that merchandise is now available. We have everything from t-shirts and hoodies, to hats and beanies, to drinkware, to wearables and blankets. You can find it all under the merchandise tab at thegoldenboot.podbean.com or go directly to thegoldenboot.com. As always, thank you for supporting the Golden Boot Pod.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to introduce our special guest for the evening on the Board of Trustees, District 1, Mr. Kevin Ball. Just imagine there's a round of applause going. Mr. Ball, first off, thank you for joining us this evening. How are you?
Hey, I'm glad to be here, man. I'm just ecstatic to be here with y'all to talk a little bit about my favorite subject matter, man. Seriously. Appreciate it. Thanks.
So I talked, we talked off mic. Listen, Southern, I put y'all on the clock and I told y'all better come on here, get on here and represent. I said, if not, I'm gonna go ahead and get some Alabama State, Alabama A&M, and we're gonna be talking about them for the next 3 months.
Sound like they're scared.
No, we actually do have some things lined up. We will have some
it's coming
from Southern come on. But first, Mr. Ball, tell us about your role with Alabama A&M and some of the things that you're doing.
Well, it first starts off, I'll tell you guys, I'm actually a graduate of Alabama A&M. We're going to start with that. So I'm an HBCU grad alum of the best university here in the country, which is Alabama A&M University. So I had the opportunity to go there, graduate back in 97, had the opportunity to play on the football team while there. And it was just a life-changing experience for me, as it is for most other people who've attended an HBCU. One of the things that I'm able to do right now is live a dream. Well, what's that dream? I'm able to, as a graduate, to go back and help serve on the Board of Trustees of the actual university that I graduated from. So not many people get that honor to do that. And because it's such a blessing and such an honor to do it, I take it very seriously. And it's something that I have enjoyed since I've been on the Board of Trustees, and I do everything I can to promote the university and HBCUs as a whole. But the thing that I do and I focus on when you ask the question, what's my role and what do I do while I'm on the board, is basically give feedback and give guidance to the president and the staff in regards to how can we enhance the services at the university? How can we improve, the quality of life of our students? What can we do to think outside the box to make Alabama A&M a global brand that's going to make every current student, faculty member, and alum proud? So I'm involved with that process and the think tank that goes with that, and most importantly, the policy setting that happens at the university level. So that's a broad, generic explanation of what I do when I go up on the hill.
All right. First off, I want to say that when people talk about giving back to their school, that's the kind of what people what we mean and stuff. Not saying that everybody has to be on the Board of Trustees and stuff like that, but
I just want to say you can tell that you Alabama A&M run through your veins, man. You know what I mean? Like Like you can tell that you really love what you do and where you at for real.
And you know what? I really appreciate that, Ed, because what I left out was that I have 3 kids, and my oldest is a junior here at Alabama A&M University.
Okay,
and I got a
train them up right, huh?
There you go. And I got a middle son he's a junior now. He'll be graduating next year. He'll be a senior next year. I wonder where you think he might be considering or what have you. So at least
Grambling, huh?
We need to consider that. But yeah, it is. It's all around them. It's all in me. And I know you didn't ask for this, but one of the things that I do want to add is the fact that, back in the day, for so long, it was common for a family, for generations, to go to a university. My granddaddy went to Alabama A&M. My mama went to A&M. My cousins, my uncles. And you have a family that will go and they will support one particular, unit, organization, or university. And it was common. And, it's not as much now, but you still have it. And that's one of the things that I'm hoping will create a generational trend with my family, with Alabama A&M University.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. My family, of course, not college-wise, but a very similar situation as far as high school. We had Peabody. Everyone in my family went to Peabody High School. My grandma, my uncles, my grandmother. So, of course, as the generations got older and things like that, we start going to different other schools. So I can definitely understand that and want to keep that generation alive.
Yeah. All right. So this is a little pettiness, but I do want to put this question up from Mr. Tony with the Dobies. He asked Mr. Ball, what makes A&M better than Grambling?
What does it make it better than Grambling? I tell you, one of the things I would tell you if I had to answer that question is, number one, A&M is the largest HBCU in the state of Alabama. So that's what makes us the best in the state over that other college that's down in Montgomery. But if we're going to talk specifically about Grambling, I think if you look at the graduates that we get from our university, we have the largest STEM graduates that come out of our university. And I would challenge to say Grambling and any other HBCU. That is the reason why our enrollment has just increased drastically over the course of the last 5 years, is because of the academic successes that we've had. Second reason why A&M may be better than Grambling is athletically. Who won the SWAC championship in football just a short period of time ago, which
2 years ago.
So if you look at athletically, whether it be football, basketball, or what have you, athletically, our programs and our facilities, I think would match and can arguably and debatably be a little bit larger than Grambling's and in better condition and larger. So I think if you ask our students, ask our student body, those a couple. And the last thing is going to be student life. Student life. Being a grad, I can tell you what it was like when I was going, but I can tell you that there's a continuation now. My daughter is there, as I mentioned earlier, and I see the activities that are going on in the yard. And basically from the homecoming activities where we have big concerts, where it ain't just impacting the university, it's impacting the whole city. And so, when you got big acts coming in like Lil Baby, City Girls, and the list goes on, because a lot of these guys I don't even know no more. I can't even keep up with the names. But it impacts more than just the university. A&M has a global impact on the surrounding area community. So in my opinion, Huntsville is a little bit larger than Ruston and where Grambling is. So I just think the impact that it has on the community is one of those things to consider as well.
Okay. I know. So we kind of talked about this, and I know you talked about impact and the, the rivalries with the different schools. It seems like there's a rivalry brewing between Coach Connell Maynard and Deion Sanders. There's a lot of little friendly banter, with the school that have. I mean, at the 50-yard line and stuff, and the chirping back and forth.
So go no, go ahead. Ask your
No, go ahead.
Now, I'm about to jump in on that. Look, if don't nothing else get you excited about HBCU football and the rivalries just naturally between who is the best in all HBCUs, you can see your first question, why is A&M better than Grambling? That's one of the things that we do in our traditions, our culture, is we like to talk trash on why my school or why my clique, my organization is better than yours. And it's just natural for us to do that as a community. So now to answer that question, that's one thing that Black people love to do and love to see, and that's trash talk. So in the SWAC, who's a better trash talker than Deion Sanders? Number one, I don't think there's one out there that exists. I mean, he's he's been doing it before we even knew, what it was or what have you. So Connell Manor, I think the thing that really sets that rivalry apart is the fact that I don't see any other. I don't know if that. My phone's I don't have anything else on. I think the impact. I don't see many other coaches being as aggressive as far as being outwardly talkative as trash talking as Coach Maynard is. So I think it's naturally that's where that comes from, because I don't think there's all other coaches want to kind of downplay their teams, downplay what they've been doing. And Maynard, that ain't his style. And you know what? That's why we're drawn to him. That's his personality. We want him to be who he is. And talk trash to Deion. He put his shoes on just like he does.
Exactly.
And to be honest with you, before Deion had that surgery, would have your Maynard problems in better shape. It could have been faster than Deion. While and I know that's arguable. That's a big statement. But the reason why I say that is because what most people don't know is the athlete that Connell Maynard is. If you don't know, he was the actual stunt double in that.
Yes.
Go ahead, Pooh. Go ahead, Pooh.
Yeah, that was actually one of our points. A lot of people don't know, and I kind of brought it up in spaces. So I won't do this as a trivia question, but in the movie Any Given Sunday, Alabama A&M's coach Connell Maynard was the every time you saw Jamie Foxx throw a touchdown or the iconic scene where he's jumping over the pile, that was actually Coach Connell Maynard. So yeah, that was.
I had to look him up, and I didn't realize he played football and in college. Think North Carolina A&T, I believe. Yeah, and then I believe he played a little arena ball and some other little pro ball. So he definitely athlete in his own right for sure.
And guess what?
Guy was a Hall of Famer. Yeah.
And guess what? Why don't y'all try him right now? Y'all think he old? Go out there and try him right now.
I take your word for it.
You say, hey, so you think Coach Maynard can give prime work?
Oh man, right now, but
I don't know about that one.
But Deion, he's a little under the weather right now. He just had like a little what have you. So it's not gonna be a fair thing. But before that, I still would bet on my coach. I'm just saying that's how I'm gonna ride with him like that.
I like it.
Hey,
I like it.
What LeVar say? LeVar say I can take Mike. Never lost. Never lost.
Absolutely.
But now this upcoming year, that battle with Coach Maynard and Deion is going to take place in the Gulf Coast Classic.
Absolutely not. That's going to be the Gulf Coast Challenge.
Tell us about that.
Let's talk about that. So the Gulf Coast Challenge is a game that's hosted in Mobile, Alabama.
Shout out to 251.
That's right. And it is the most unique and freshest, quote unquote, event and classic style game that's out there. So let me back up, and the reason why I corrected, Pooh Bear, I said it's not classic, it's challenge. And and the name challenge came about was because what the city of Mobile wanted to do was highlight multiple HBCUs. So in classic, what is it? It's the same two colleges every single year for 60, 80, 100 years, correct? So when the Gulf Coast Challenge was created, the goal was to have multiple HBCUs be exposed to the African Americans in that particular area and region. We didn't want to have it just for one university. We want to expose everybody. So what we did was we looked at the most attractive matchups and attracted them to come and play in the city of Mobile. So that's the reason why it was named Challenge and not Classic, to represent the rotating universities, HBCUs, that are going through that city. So that's why we try to correct people for branding purposes. Yes, it is a classic style game or event and matchup. However, the official name is the Gulf Coast Challenge.
I like it.
So I want somebody to ask me why is the challenge different or better than all the other classics that
Now, I do got a classic I'm gonna ask you about, but I'm gonna say that to the end, so you can. So we say that to the end. I guess I'll stay with football. Right now there is a SWAC arms race. Transfer portal is heating up. Alabama A&M's in there, Grambling's in there, of course. Jackson State made waves when Travis Hunter chose them, and then also some of the players that came out that went into the portal from other big name schools. Alabama State picked up like 6 guys that were originally D1 or Power 5 schools. A&M, how is A&M keeping up?
So the rankings that literally just came out maybe 3 days ago, had Alabama A&M ranked number 3. We were 2 until obviously Grambling picked up a few recruits or what have you. But we had a very, very strong recruiting offseason, and we're very proud of that. So the whole portal situation has just changed the landscape of how colleges are recruiting, period. I think we all know that coaches now are looking into the portal to get most of their recruits. Prior to, going to high schools, trying to get the best stars that you can get, incorporate them into your program, and develop them. Well, what has happened and transpired with the portal is that when these coaches are signing contracts, whether it's a 3-year contract, because I rarely hear, multiple year contracts unless they've already proven themselves.
Right.
They got to win now. So if you got to win now, can you do that with an incoming freshman? Or are you going to get a transferring junior or senior who has multiple years of experience, may not have played a whole lot, but they've been on this level, on this playing field, and you have a need that you're specifically going in there to meet, and you go get somebody that's ready that can contribute right now, because there's a lot of money and pressure on these coaches to win now. So the transfer portal has essentially changed how recruiting is going to be done, period, on out. So I got to add this point. You didn't ask this, but I just got to put this in here. The person or the people who are being impacted the most negatively with the transfer is the high school kids, the high school students or athletes. Because if you're not a 4 or 5 star that can come in and start right now, those kids are not getting offered scholarships. So how are they getting on the college team? Because they still want to get in a college and they still want to play on that level, but they're not being recruited, or those opportunities are not as fluid and as presented as they once were. So what's gonna, and this is all my opinion. I have no statistics or data to support what I'm saying, but I know what I see because I'm around this every day, is the fact that these kids now are going to have to choose just a university they want to go to, and they're going to have to go and try to walk on, because these colleges now, they're having tryouts to let the student body come on, because they're not recruiting them out of high school prior to. So that's, and I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. Let me ask you
you're fine.
Question. You're fine. But that's where we're going with this, is that kids are now going to have to go to a school, enroll in the university, be a student, and then actually try to walk on and get on the team to try to prove themselves. So maybe one day they can't get in the transfer portal if they're not getting time. And that's the avenue where I see it going to at this time.
Well, let me ask you a question, Kevin. So whenever it comes to those high school students that aren't going to your big blue blood Power 5 schools, schools like your alma mater, they come in. What are they doing to try to get these kids to? What are they selling these kids on A&M? What are they doing?
So that's a two-part answer to that question. The first thing I'm going to say is, number one, what A&M is doing is we're going after the same ones Nick Saban and, you know, all these D1s are going for. So that's first. So we're not looking for anybody's leftovers. So, and that with the transfer portal, that's actually has helped level the playing field where, because what a lot of people are not talking about is there's 1,000 kids in that transfer portal, but guess what? You put yourself in that transfer, you're not guaranteed to get on in another school. So there's a lot of people who basically exited themselves out of a program and ain't got no home to go nowhere, right?
Right.
So what that does is allows for A&M the opportunity for that same kid, 3, 4, 5-star, that went to University of Nebraska, went to maybe even Georgia, didn't get playing time, tried to get transfer portal, and we can go after that kid, and we're getting some of the same talent that some of the D1s are experiencing. Now, to answer the other part of your question is, what are we doing with those 2 stars, 3 stars, or what have you? I think it's just a matter of need, just like what anybody else is doing. You're still going to look at those other kids and those other stars, and you're going to see, do we have a need at the quarterback position? Do we have a need at defensive end? What position is this kid playing, and can they help us, you know, if not this year, maybe within the next year to 2 years? And again, this is me speculating on behalf of my head coach. So I don't want to speak on what exactly he's doing, but from my observations, this is what I'm seeing multiple programs do. And I assume A&M is no different. We're doing the same thing.
And if I'm being honest, honestly, and Coach Manny, if you listen to this, there's a ton of talented kids in Louisiana that don't get that opportunity to go to large Power 5 schools, you know, and that are just as equally talented as those big Division I prospects that eventually they do within 4 or 5 years go to the NFL and they shine, you know. So those kids need opportunities also. So I hope, you know, the portal is not a place where you heavily rely on, and some people still go out to those high school games and meet those high school coaches and build those relationships, because it's a sad situation whenever you got so much talent sitting at home, you know. So
no, you're absolutely
don't get forgotten.
No, you're absolutely right, man. There's talent everywhere, man, to be honest with you. So, and it's definitely a hotbed in Louisiana, man. So Louisiana, Mississippi, really the Southeast, man. That's why the SEC is so strong, man. The talent, these boys down here, them boys on the West Coast and East Coast, they ain't seen nothing. When you got a 6'8" kid running a 4'5", 300 pounds,
It's different.
That's the freak of nature. But you know, I know that's the norm down here, because a lot of them kids, they just don't even make it D1 or whatever.
It's a lot. It's a whole bunch more. Yeah, it's a whole bunch more that didn't make it.
So, you know, it's just the norm down here. But to your point, Daniel, yeah, absolutely, man. I think we'll get Coach Manning to recruit that area as well, man.
Definitely. Sorry, Grambling Southern.
Nah, we ain't talking about Grambling Southern. Nah, they all right with it. They all right with it.
So, this something you said kind of sparked this next question. NIL. I know that, you know, I'm not naive to think that, you know, HBCUs aren't participating. I know it's not talked about quite as much, but are there things that A&M might be doing? Because I know, like Grambling, one of our guests we had on, Miss Love, she talks about all the time. They have a collective and things that they're working for. But what are some things that A&M might be doing to try to, you know, stay competitive in the NIL space?
So what I want to do and how I want to approach this question is from a generic standpoint, because I don't want to expose a strategy that may be working for us that, you know, that gives us the competitive edge for us to do what we're doing. Okay, so if y'all would excuse me, I won't get into specifics about that, but I will talk generically about it.
Understand.
To answer your question, what A&M is doing is the exact same thing all of the universities in SWAC is doing. We're trying to get an understanding of the NIL, okay? And what we mean by that, this thing is so new. Well, we're a year in, 2 at the longest. We're trying to understand what is legal and lawful, because the NCAA has not really put anything out as to, you know, what you can't do. They set parameters, but people are still trying to get up to that edge, and some are even crossing it or what have you. But at this point, there's no enforcement and there's no repercussions. That's most importantly to anybody who goes too far. Not at this point, we haven't seen that. So to answer your question, what are we doing is we're trying to understand the rules, because I hate to say this, but we can't make the same mistakes Alabama can make, LSU can make, some of these other universities. That's right. If we do some of the things that that they potentially could do, the book is going to be thrown harder at us than anybody else. So therefore, we don't have the luxury to go out there and just do what some of them are doing, which is feeling their way through the process and what have you. So we are seeking clarification, clarity, and in regards to what we can and cannot do in regards to NIL. So how are we doing it? Well, we're doing that by communicating and coordinating and collaborating with newly formed NIL companies and agencies. Because since this has come up, there are agencies now that support and or provide guidance to universities as to this is how we can support your student athletes. So for instance, we all hear about Alabama. They got, their starting quarterback got $1 million after the first year or what have you, after a few months or what have you. Well, don't think Alabama just went and did that. They had people who kind of had a strategy, knew what they were doing, and knew how to formulate and go get that money to make sure that student athlete was able to benefit from it. Everybody else is really just playing catch up. And why do I say that? Because universities like Alabama, Auburn, LSUs of the world, their athletic budgets allows them and affords them money to pay staff to go and do this. And when you go to the HBCU world and into the SWAC specifically, a lot of times we're understaffed where, it'll take a team of 15 in Alabama to do a particular function. At HBCUs, we only got 2, 3. So we're a little bit behind in that sense. And it's all based off resources, and that's where resources comes in again. So that's the long way of telling you, what are we doing about it? We're trying to learn more about it. And 2, we're trying to collaborate with newly formed agencies that can help us, help our students, benefit and take advantage of the NIL. So that's the best way I can answer that question.
Can I ask you a question also?
Yeah.
Kevin, how important is, for the alumni base and the surrounding communities to come up and help with, those collectives?
So, Dan, you just don't even know how good of a dang question that is, bro. You really don't even know how good that is. So the question then becomes, I'm going to pose a question to the 3 of you guys. I know y'all are not necessarily HBCU pros, but we're out here to learn. So I'm just going to do a stereotype. I'm going to ask y'all a question right quick. What percentage of alumni do you guys think give back to PWIs and give to just a percentage? What percentage?
To PWIs?
PWIs,
it's probably gonna be about 70%, somewhere up there.
I'm thinking somewhere probably about 50 or 60, but then that's not the big don't. But I say about 50 or 60 though %.
I say probably about 60. Yeah,
about 60. So LSU and Alabama, if you're a graduate, y'all are saying 60% of those graduates are giving back to that university in some shape or form.
Yeah.
Athletic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm asking you the question for HBCUs and Black people. What do you think the percentage is for graduates giving back to their HBCU? What percentage would you say is that?
I like round numbers, so I'm gonna say 25. And I know
I was gonna say 15.
I'll say 30.
So Daniel's optimistic.
I'm being
optimistic. Daniel wrong as hell.
Yeah, I know.
That happens often on this show.
So I say that rhetorically speaking, saying when you ask the question about, how can sponsors, boosters, and alums help the university and athletic department specifically, absolutely we could. But the question is, how, what is our performance? What are we actually doing? We give back at a lower rate than all of our counterparts in the D1s or what have you. And again, it goes back to resources. So typically, we don't give back at the frequency level that our other counterparts give. So yes, you do have some enthusiastic boosters and givers like alums like myself. I love giving back and this, that, and the other. I give here and there, but I'm just one person. Collectively, A&M, and I got to give my university credit. We have had a capital campaign that has exceeded my wildest dreams. We've raised millions of dollars in the last 5 years to our efforts of enhancing our university, our services, and all of that. So we are doing really well. And to be honest with you, we're doing much better than some of our counterparts. However, does that mean we still can't be doing more? Absolutely. So to answer your question, and specifically to the NIL, yes, we could be doing more. What are we doing now? Currently, we're in the process of organizing, and that's the best way I know how to answer that, because I cannot assign a particular dollar figure as to, look, this is how much money we've been able to raise, and this is where we are. So it's still a work in progress. But just know that it's needed. And for any HBCU watchers or watching this podcast, please heed to what are you doing for your university, and let it give back $5 a month or $100 a year. Any dollar amount would help.
And how could they do that?
Yeah, exactly. And every dollar helps. So it didn't answer your question, but I'm trying to answer it as best way.
No, that's a great. That's an excellent answer, honestly. But how can they do if they do want to help? What are some of the ways that people can go and help A&M?
Man, you can't think of an avenue that or a platform that we haven't made available to people to give. I mean, you can give via check, PayPal, cash. You can go to our website, the university website. It's got a platform and a space where you can give right there. Most of us trek back to the Hill for homecoming and different special activities, whatever. There's giving mechanisms there. Hey, just drop some money in the bucket or drop a check off here, this and that. We have every avenue you can think of to give funds. So
what you're saying is ain't no excuses.
No excuses. No excuses at all. Excuses are minus and nothingness. And anyway, no, there's no excuses, but we give avenues to give back. Absolutely.
Definitely.
All right. So it's something we talked about our first episode, the Dion effect. And I know Dion's name is as hot as fish grease when it comes to HBCUs. He's everywhere. He's magnetic. But we talk about the Dion effect, and I guess this question is not so much any slight to any other HBCU, but how is the Dion effect helping A&M? So, because I know some schools have gone out and hired former NFL players or NFL coaches. I see it as far as like Coach Maynard. Coach Maynard, that's his personality, but I don't think Coach Maynard may not have been quite as vocal. If not, he has somebody to verbally spar with, So, but in your opinion, what are some ways that's kind of and are we giving too much credit to Dion that? Because that was something else we talked about.
So, to be honest with you, you get 10 people, you're going to probably get 10 different perspectives, to be honest with you. But I think one thing all 10 people you ask will say is that Dion's emergence, presence, and what he has done has elevated and positively impacted everybody. If you can't look at what he's done and what he is doing and saying, what he's doing for Jackson State is not helping every other SWAC university. You cannot consciously say that unless you just got real hate for him and you're just a real negative person. And the reason why I say that is because, yes, in our world, meaning those who follow HBCUs, we know all of this all along. We knew. But we're talking about exposing a brand bigger than our neighborhood. Yeah. We're talking about people now talking about us in Idaho, Utah, Alaska, people who have previously had no interest in HBCUs, didn't know what HBCU stood for. Now they're asking questions, they're noticing. You can't say that that's not impacting all of us positively. So the Dion effect is positive. I think there's two aspects of it. You got one camp the naysayers, if you will, if you want to call them that, is because he's just a topic in everybody's mouth when where HBCU comes up right now. And just some people are just tired of hearing it. It's kind of like a song that you've heard 300 times. Like, I don't want to hear that no more. And that's just human nature. Be honest, that's just human nature, right? So I get it. So you get some people in that category, but when you're honestly looking at the bigger picture, you know, this man is putting a spotlight on all of us. And what he is I ain't gonna say single-handedly, but the SWAC as a whole, the branding of it, everybody now can command more dollars in these classics that we talked about, these appearances when we do eventually play those PWIs. You know, they're gonna have to pay bigger guarantees than they did previously. So the Deion effect is definitely present. I applaud him for what he's doing, and he's helping more than just Jackson State. That man is pledged to help Mississippi Valley State get a new stadium. How can you hate on that? How can you hate on that? This man, just recently with this draft, did the prime list of people who he thinks should go to the leagues that should get drafted. All of them were Jackson State players. They were from every HBCU. So he is trying to help everybody as a whole. And I applaud his efforts. Most people don't look at it and see it the same. But I think if you look at it objectively, what's the negative, really? What's the negative?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
The thing of what I respect about him so much, just looking at what he's doing, you know, for Jackson State. I mean, he's repping Jackson State super duper hard, but not only that, he's repping all HBCUs. I mean, of course, I know we're going to get into this later with the transfer portal, but you know, the comments he made about Isaiah, you know, at FAMU, that goes a long way, you know. So salute to Deion, man, and of course, salute to you, Mr. Ball, for showing love to him. You know,
absolutely. You know, and I'm glad we're having this conversation, guys. And to be honest with you, I love in the different group chats and Facebook forums that you can give your opinion about what Deion has done and what he's doing. He is making everybody step their game up. Because to be honest, if we're all being honest with ourselves, that man is building a powerhouse right now with all them recruits he getting. And like you mentioned earlier, the man got Travis Porter, one of the top #1 ranked recruit, and he got them to go to an HBCU over
Cold.
Well, hold on, Travis Hunter. Travis Porter makes some good music, but Travis Hunter.
I'm sorry, that's that Porter. I meant Hunter.
Hey, ladies,
my bad. But no, for him to do that and recruit at that level, what do you think all of us got to do to make sure he don't get that far ahead? We got to raise our game. So that's what I'm saying. For anybody who wants to say this and that and the other, what he's doing for them is applying what we call applying pressure.
Yeah.
He applying pressure to everybody else that we got to step our game up, and we can't let Jackson State outdo us because we want to remain competitive and most importantly remain relevant, man. The Deion effect is real. I think it's good. We needed him. It's a good time. And I see nothing but good things, man, in the future for HBCUs as a whole.
But not only stepping your game up as far as recruiting and stuff like that, but the way he got that alumni base and that fan base supporting them, selling out the stadium the way they do, it's causing other alumni bases and fan bases to step their game up. We see the spring games packed out and stuff like that. So he making everybody step their game up in all assets of the program, not just on the field and coaches, staffs, and recruits and resource, the facilities and stuff, but even the fan base and alumni and the support.
Hey, Pooh Bear, I need you. Once this thing is over with, you need to give my boy Ant a pound. He don't even realize what the hell he just said right now. Because think about the impact of what Ant just said. When you sign a contract with Jackson State right now, to any venue or event, you got 30,000 people guaranteed to come. Bro, do you know the economic impact of that? Yeah. I don't know if black people really understanding that. 30,000, the economic impact of 30,000 people descending onto your city.
How many hotels finna be booked? How many restaurants finna be packed out? How many shopping centers finna be built? You know what I mean? Like he bringing everybody. He changing the economy. If you think about it for a weekend,
We talked about last episode the increase from what we said 33,000 in 2019 to 42,000 as far as average attendance.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
One thing that people don't know that Jackson State actually leads attendance for all FCS, not just HBCU. So that's on the, and that was prior to Dion, and Dion didn't do nothing but increase that gap.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. And the thing I know y'all didn't mention this, but the thing along with the Dion effect and what he's doing with Jackson State, giving Jackson State credit, that damn band will bring 30,000 people out by themselves. I mean, Jackson State band, they're known. They do a great job with their band. And to be honest with you, they're just probably as attractive as the football team, if not more, because people want to see they want to see that band from Jackson State. So I got to give credit where credit is due.
So, Mr. Ball, first of all, I appreciate you for coming on. I was going to ask a question about Coach Hewlett, but I'll say that we can say that because I want to get to the meat and potatoes. Let me be a little. I'm gonna be a little messy. Because they jumped on me last week or last time. Here we go.
I'm ready for it.
Magic City Classic versus Bayou Classic.
Okay.
What's the bigger classic?
Man, what you think, bruh? What you think?
Bayou Classic,
easily. Hell no. Bayou Classic has more seats in the stadium. Yeah, they Superdome. So yeah, they got more seats. But if you look at the average attendance for the last 5 years as opposed to the average attendance to the Magic City Classic, it's not even close, man. I think Bayou Classic, they have the tradition. We both classics have a tradition, right? But I think Bayou Classic obviously has been on a larger stage because they had NBC. They were on NBC. They was nationally televised.
That's because you were the better classic.
Well. At that time, it was, and the reason why you had to support that, if we're going to go by data or what have you, look at the attendance, and you look at the revenue generated, and you just look at everything holistically. You're exactly right, man. Back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, I mean, the Bayou Classic was that. But mid 2000s going forward, Magic City started to rival that because our attendance, we were getting to that 40,000+ into that 50,000 person range at the Magic City Classic, whereas the Bayou Classic was experiencing a drastic drop off. And it's just only by looking at the ticket sales, and the data is there. So when you say what's better and who's better, to be honest with you, it's really on which culture you're really trying to go for. Because if you've been going to Bayou Classic for all your life or for the last 5-10 years, then that's what you're going to be drawn to. And the same with Magic City Classic. Yeah. But if we're looking at the trajectory. Right now, the Magic City Classic's trajectory is just basically increasing because more people are becoming knowledgeable about it, and more people, once they attend, they're seeing the events are probably on the same scale, if not larger, than what the Bayou Classic is offering. So I just think, and the rivalry, Alabama A&M and Alabama State, is just as intense as Grambling and Southern. So if not more so. So if you had to say who's better, I personally, you know what I'm going to say. But if we're looking at numbers and all of that, it's still, it's just a preference, man. But Magic City Classic is on a positive trajectory up, though.
Well, to defend the Bayou Classic numbers wise, I think, and like I said, I'm not a HBCU grad alum or nothing like that. I'm just outside, looking. But I think that when Grambling and the Texas Classic, whenever that really started taking off, like the past 10, 15 years ago, I think that kind of drew some of the people who would normally make that annual trip to New Orleans for the Bayou Classic. I think, the trip to Dallas is, just as close, you know what I mean? And to some people, there's more to do in Dallas, so they'd rather make that trip, you know what I mean? And not to mention some people never been to that stadium in Dallas, all those kind of different things, you know what I mean? So I think that kind of drew some of the numbers away from the Bayou Classic. I think if you look at the storms that that kind of impacted the New Orleans area, every 4 years, I think that kind of, takes away some of the luster of making that trip down there. So I think there's a lot of factors when you look at it. It isn't just the game in itself that, that's affecting those numbers. But I don't disagree that it kind of has lost its luster. But I think with Coach Dooley down there at Southern now and Hewitt Jackson, I think with the fan base is kind of reigniting that passion they have for the program, I think the numbers will start making that trend back up.
And to your point, and I think you made a very good point. That's the reason why events, organizations, and classics have to really kind of reinvent themselves, because that's what's going to happen. Exactly what you said. Whenever you have something new or something, shiny or what have you, like you're saying in Dallas or what have you, you got some people that, I've been wanting to buy you for the last 5 years. Let me just do something different. Yeah. And we're in an age where that's just so prominent now. People are going to the next thing just to experience this. So if I'm going to go to the Dallas Classic this year, I'm not going to necessarily go to Bayou. I'm going to take a year off. Then that impacts the numbers. So some of that, I'm not saying that's the whole thing, but some of that.
It's some of it. For sure.
A small factor in that, but yeah. But I see what side you're on, but I'm with the Magic City. So
we see. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna have to check it out because I ain't too familiar with with the Magic City. So I'm gonna have to check y'all out this shit.
Holla at me. I got a ticket for you, bro.
All right, for sure.
Hey, I want to come too.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hey, my only requirement is y'all got to sit on A&M side. That's the only thing, man.
All right, I'm there.
I'm down with it.
Hey, y'all just don't know what y'all listen. Alabama, Auburn, A&M State. I'm telling you, it
goes down.
It goes down.
It goes down.
Mr. Ball, Kevin, I appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate it, man.
Look forward to having you back, because we will have you back. We look forward to having you back, especially as it gets closer to the season and stuff. We can start talking some more. So, but thank you. Is there any? First of all, if people want to get in touch with you, is there any way that in particular that you want people to reach out to you, social media wise?
Absolutely, they can reach out to me on Facebook. I'm there. My name is KD. Ball, that's K, capital D, the letter E, then Ball, BALL on Facebook. So they can reach me there, inbox me there. Messenger is the best way to get me. And my last comments is, look, guys, I really enjoyed this, man. And y'all already know y'all ain't did nothing but got me started. So if you invite me again, I will be over here without just letting me know. The only thing is I feel more comfortable now. I'm gonna talk more trash when I see y'all next. So I'm gonna be calling Aunt and talking trash directly to you guys. So if you get me on, I'm definitely I want that smoke. All right.
Already. I like it. I like it.
All right, pink scooter. Don't worry, we gonna get that pink scooter delivered back to him this year. Best believe that.
All right. Hey, quick question: is the challenge going to be at Ladd or is it going to be at South Alabama?
It's gonna be at Ladd. All right. And I know you didn't ask for this. I know I gotta go, but no.
Oh no. We're not gonna rush you off of here, but no.
No, it's always going to be at Ladd. It's the equivalent of the Bayou Classic being played at Tulane, or you don't go to a PWI to play a classic. You're going to have to do it at a neutral location, this, that, and the other. So there's no way we would be interested. Unless we had to, meaning if Ladd went away and there's no other venue, well, we ain't got no choice then at that point.
Right.
But as long as there's a choice, it'll be at Ladd Stadium.
The only reason why I asked. No, go ahead, Ant.
No, you go ahead.
No, the only reason why I asked those who are familiar, with Mobile and the dynamic, the Senior Bowl shifted from Ladd to South Alabama Stadium. I believe the bowl game did as well. But,
yes, it did. Yes, it did. So, with those events going away, and put this in context for people who don't know or not familiar with Mobile. Ladd Stadium is in Maysville. It's in the African-American part of the city. Been there for 40 years. The host of all these big games and all the surrounding areas, as y'all know, they benefited economically from the parking and the vendors and everything else that came along with it. And now all of a sudden, everything's going to the new stadium. So, and that's fine because these organizations and these groups, they have every right to go to whatever venue and that they want to go to or what have you. But we believe in supporting that demographic, and therefore we ain't going nowhere. That's our home. This game is theirs, and we're gonna take good care of it, and we're gonna be good stewards of our community there in Mobile. So that's what it's about.
Hey, next time you're on, I'm gonna have a question for you. As should some of these classics, instead of being held at neutral sites, should we do it like a school and school? You know what I mean? Like rotate between Southern and Grambling, or rotate between, you know what I mean, campuses like that, instead of having to pay rent in some of these stadiums so some of the schools can get more money. It ain't a conversation for today, but for future, I want your thoughts on that.
Okay. You about to rev me back up.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I know. Hey, that's a deep conversation.
We got deep into that last.
That's a deep conversation though. So I want you to have your full time for that one.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you about that conversation.
Let's do this.
We started last time. We were getting ready to wrap up. We started that conversation last time when we went from a 40-minute show to an hour and 20-minute show. So we ain't gonna do that to you this time. But again, everybody, Mr. Kevin Ball, thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Look forward to having you back, Mr. Kevin Ball. Everybody. All right,
dropping gems.
Listen, that's what. I enjoyed that. Again, Mr. Ball, thank you. All right, some of the stuff we did talk about, we were going to touch on anyway. Yeah. NFL draft. The NFL draft, and as you saw on our thumbnail, had 4 HBCU players picked up. You had James Houston, the 4th from Jackson State.
The cornerback go first, right?
I'm just trying.
Yeah, Jacoby Durant went first, I believe.
Yeah, Jacoby Durant from South Carolina State. You had Joshua Williams from Fayetteville State and Ja'Tyre Carter from Southern. And I didn't put it in order that they were picked. I think that was just the list that I had. But that's not where it stopped. You had 18 undrafted free agents and rookie camp invites as well. Marquise Bell from Florida A&M, who I think should have actually been drafted. Felix Harper from Alcorn State. Shamar Bridges from Fort Valley State. Ron Hunt from North Carolina A&T. Keith Corbin from Jackson State. Al Young from Jackson State. Deshaun Dixon from Norfolk State. Savion Williams from FAMU. Will Adams from I can't see what that is. That Virginia State. Listen, I can't. Akil Glass from A&M. Najee Reams from North Carolina A&T. D. Anderson from A&T. C.J. Holmes. What happened? C.J. Holmes from Jackson State. Kylan Ritchie from Jackson State. Caleb Carter from Southern. Zafar Kelly from South Carolina State. Braylon Robinson from Alcorn State, Stephen Davis Jr. from North Carolina A&T, Jermaine Martin from North Carolina A&T, Jawan Taylor from Alcorn State, Keenan Forbes from FAMU, and Marquise McLean from Southern.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
That's a list.
Yeah,
is that really your cousin?
I can't read all that. I got glaucoma, man. I can't read all that.
Boy, you look like you look good, boy.
That boy, Daniel
really good, boy.
All right, fellas, we got a few quick hitters just so we can get up out of here. Arkansas Pine Bluff, they threw a combined no-hitter versus Memphis. Daniel, I know you don't like baseball, so I'm gonna try to move through these kind of fast.
No, we're not moving. We're not moving through one of them kind of fast. I want to get that man. One of them, that man need his flowers.
Yeah. Okay, and I think I know who you're talking about. So we're gonna go with first. I'll do this one, and then I go to the one you're talking about. Coach Omar Johnson from Jackson State got his 500th career win.
Congratulations
to him. Also, somebody who definitely deserves their flowers. from Grambling, Shamar Page threw the
sir.
34th perfect game in NCAA history.
Salute, young man. Salute.
In doing this, he also eclipsed 100 strikeouts on the year, and he's tied for second in the nation with strikeouts. So congratulations to him.
Salute to him. For real, that's major, bro. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, a perfect game is
ridiculous, man.
So a no hitter is good and rare, but a perfect game,
man. Just think about
how many in football equivalent to it.
How many what?
All right, just check this out. Check this out. You know how many colleges play baseball?
Yeah.
All right. So think about how long they've been playing baseball, and only 34 of them have ever happened.
That's wild.
In Major League Baseball, there's only been like 27 of them in history. You know what I mean? Like it's almost that means you get every 27 up, 27 down. Nobody got a hit, nobody got walked, nobody reached base at all, bro. That's
hit by pitches.
Yeah, none of that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Salute
to him, bro. For real.
All right, a story that we kind of jumped through out there. Coach Valdez joins the staff, joins Hugh Jackson staff at Grambling. He was a former head coach and AD at St. James. So congratulations to him. Wish you much success.
That heard it here first, right?
Yes, sir.
Heard it here first. Hey, stick with us. You're going places. We talked about briefly Dion helping Mississippi Valley State University. Yeah. Dion also, and as Kevin mentioned earlier, some of the things he's done and kind of promised. He also, if some people may not remember, he went out and helped get a full-time trainer for Alcorn State, which is, if I'm not mistaken, Jackson State and Alcorn State are the main rivals.
Yeah, they're in-state rivals. Yeah,
in-state rivals.
They're not too far apart.
How can you not like this?
How can again?
I don't get it.
It's
man, look, did y'all see the video whenever he put? If for those of you who watching who haven't seen the video, go watch the video of Dion pulling up at Mississippi Valley and going to talk to the.
It was all love.
Going to talk to the other coach, going and touring their facilities. Meeting a running back for for them and their team, and hanging out with them for a minute. Just go watch it and see the way that he truly just cares about not just his school, man. They like you said, it's one of his rivals, but he want to see every HBCU flourishing and reaching their full potential, man. You can't help but respect and love that, man.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
I love it, bro.
It's all love, and I keep telling people what he's doing at Jackson State is bigger than football.
Yeah, for real, bro.
But you know what? That's like you said, it's so much bigger than football. You know what I'm saying? But when you break it down to like a human level, just to want to see people win,
bro,
it's very rare, especially when you at the top. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of times people say, "Oh, well, I mean that you're capping." If you're showing somebody love, that's what the world needs.
He genuine, bro. Yeah, he genuine, bro. He authentic with it, dog. Like you can't help but respect it.
Right.
All right. Hey, again, shout out to Dion. What actually? Let's stay with Dion. So let's talk about the transfer portal. Yeah. Grambling picked up Noah Bolden this week.
No. Noah Bolden left.
I'm sorry. Oh, Noah Bolden left Grambling.
Yes. They got a transfer in the
quarterback. I can't think of his name.
Mr. Gilmore, I believe is his last name. Hold on 1 second. I have it for you. Amani Gilmore. He came in and Noah Bolden left. Or entered the transfer portal. And then there's Isaiah Land. So Isaiah Land entered his name into the portal. He was just about to leave FAMU. Dion made some interesting comments. Dion just said what everybody was thinking. I mean, if we want to be honest, bro, like he basically just said, he don't like the way that some of these players are trying to just jump around to what, the situation where they can benefit the most from. You know what I mean? Like that FAMU was there for you when no one else was there for you. They, they gave you an opportunity there. They helped develop you to the player you are now. And then now that you feel like that you know, outgrew that situation, or you know that there's a better situation for you out there, you just want to up and leave. And I'm kind of glad that he did come out and say that, because I feel like a lot of these players don't really realize the implications of entering the transfer portal sometimes.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like we talk about all the success stories, but we don't never talk about how many guys enter the portal and don't find nowhere to go. You know what I mean?
Or you have a situation like, you guys remember Giles at LSU wide receiver? You have a situation like that where you do come in and your former team, you had a lot of success. You come in with all this pressure and you hit the big stage and you flop. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's not because you're talented. Maybe it's because it's
stage too big for you, lights too bright for you. I mean, and I'm not saying I don't want anybody to think I'm saying he couldn't have, you know, performed at a better at a different level or anything like that. But I think that like we just talked about, 4 guys drafted into the NFL. That's 4 more than the University of Texas had. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying that you can get
what they gonna do.
They'll find you.
Obviously, they can't beat you. They ain't beat nobody.
They'll find you. You know what I mean? Like, if you're good enough to make it to that level, they'll find you. You know what I mean? Whether you're at a HBCU, whether you're at a D1, whether you know P5 or G4, no matter where you're at, they'll find you. So you don't have to jump ship. You know.
And we talked about Zaylen, but let me say this: prior to coming on the show, he actually sent out a tweet, said sticking with the FAMU, you know, the FAMU. Yes, they're saying sticking with the family.
Okay, Brian Kelly.
Gotta finish what we started. So
I'm glad to see him staying with FAMU and basically being what he's loved for who he is and not for what he can bring to the university.
And not only he's gonna be appreciated a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. You know what
I'm saying?
All right. So a story we talked about on the last episode, the MEAC actually, the ADs voted yes to Chicago State joining the MEAC, and that would, in a sense, preserve the MEAC, just in case Howard decided to actually pull through and leave. But the MEAC presidents voted no to Chicago State joining and basically killed that idea.
How bad do you have to be?
Well, okay. Let me kind of defend the no vote. For one, the MEAC already has 2 schools that don't play football. I forgot what schools they were, but they have 2 schools that currently don't play football. And Chicago State did not guarantee that they would be playing football if they joined the MEAC. So then you would potentially have 3 and an uneven number of football playing teams in the conference if they didn't play football. Not to mention, they're outside of the footprint, I guess you want to call it, the region or whatever you want to call it, of them that the MEAC is currently in. Is it worth it financially to, you know what I mean, for them to join the conference and have to travel to, you know, that far out of your geographical footprint if football isn't going to be one of the sports that you're, you know what I mean, traveling for, when that's your money-making sport? So that's kind of where I could kind of see them, you know what I mean, if they didn't get a guarantee that Chicago State would be playing football, why they would say no.
I bet if they had a good band, they would have got in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Petty Murphy, always dropping knowledge, and Daniel D. Williams, making Anthony look good. All right. So
just doing my job, man.
All right, fellas. All right. So again, we got some quick hitters. Just going around some of the spring sports. Howard wins. Was that men's golf in MEAC? For the MEAC? They won the men's golf for the MEAC. South Carolina State in the MEAC won men and women's tennis championship. Alabama State won the SWAC men's tennis. Jackson State won the women's tennis for the SWAC. Then you had Texas Southern win both men and women's golf. And then last but not least, Benedict College won the SIAC men's and women's track championship and the men and women's tennis championship.
Balling. Where's that? Where's that college at?
Benedict.
Yeah.
They crushing whoever they crushing everybody.
Shout out Benedict U.
Straight dynasty mode
BC.
over
there. Yeah.
Benedict is in Columbia, South Carolina. I knew I had heard of it. I just ain't.
Yeah, they straight
I ain't know where it was at.
That's straight school.
They straight crushing whoever they playing against, bro.
Yeah. So before we go, I do, with a heavy heart, want to send my condolences to the family and friends of Miss Arlana Miller. Yeah. She was a Southern University cheerleader, and she was found deceased. And I don't want to get into the what's and all that, but I do want to say love on your people.
Yeah. Check on your people.
Check on your people. Personally, I had a best friend, a good friend, battle buddy who I guess was going through things. We talked all the time, and he posted a message. I didn't reach out. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't call him, and then I got a call that I didn't want. So again,
got that call last week.
Yes. Yeah. So if you ever feel like, you know, so every now and then, just reach out to somebody. Tell them you love them.
Yeah, tell them you love them, bro. You never know when the last time, bro.
100%. All right. If I can also add, I know we're trying to get out of here, but I think this is very important to say.
Hey,
you know, a lot of times, especially in our community, the Black community, we always say, hey, you know, pray God. Yeah. Always got you. You know, for sure he definitely does. But there's a reason why we have therapists.
It's okay to have God and a therapist.
100%. 100%. And not only that, people need to understand that when it comes to a mental imbalance, go see a therapist, man. Go talk to a psychiatrist. There's medication that can help with that. A lot of that stuff, it's a chemical imbalance. You get what I'm saying? And it's a lot of things that people need to get educated on when it comes to this mental health stuff. And I pray to God that we can bring awareness to it and make it a big issue, because it's very important. There's no reason why anybody should feel like they don't have someone to go talk to. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, man, I know you've been going through a lot, bro. So I want to say, you know, on our audience, man, please lift this brother up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we praying for you, brother, because I know you've been through it, bro.
I appreciate that. But like I say, me personally, I see a therapist. I'm not ashamed to admit it. You know what I mean?
I do the same thing, brother.
I ain't my mental ain't always on, you know what I mean? Like I go see a doctor when I don't feel well. So whenever I'm mentally not feeling well, I go see a therapist. I don't personally see nothing wrong with it. And I think more people need to stop making it taboo and to go, you know what I mean? They need no, in our community it is though, bro. It doesn't need to be exactly like there's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist. Go see a therapist if you're thinking about it. If you've been wanting to, go do it. Stop waiting, you know what I mean? Go ahead and do it now and check on your people, love on your people, bro.
And quit just dismissing and saying, "Oh, that boy crazy. Oh, that girl crazy." Yeah. Please stop that.
Please stop.
We got to stop that. I'm gonna let the people in on the secret.
Yeah,
me, Daniel, and Chris, we have never physically met each other, but at this point we talk all the time. These like truly are my brothers. Yeah. Me and Daniel actually do, you know what I'm saying, get into debates and stuff, and then all right, man, I love you, man. All right, bro. All right. Yeah. But I say that to say this: you don't know who will come into your life and what they'll mean to you. So appreciate the people you have around you. So
and look, I'll be honest with you too, man. Like my friends, my people that's close to me, I make them feel uncomfortable. You get what I'm saying? Because you know when I say that is I tell my people I love them, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, we never know. You know, life is short. Right. Life is short. And I tell this to my family all the time. You know, the last thing I want to do is hold something against somebody, because that's a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? It's a waste of time. Life is too short. Like Ant saying, like Pooh Bear say, love on your people. Yeah, it's so important, man.
All right.
And we love y'all who listening, man.
Hey,
y'all too.
Oh, speaking of love, people have asked, y'all love us, help us. All right, shoot us. We now have PayPal. Love. You can donate to us via PayPal. Hey, I'm lead us up here for a little bit. Y'all can, scan the QR code. It works. I did it myself. Also, we have Cash App, so you can hit us up, $ Golden Boot. Hey, again, love on your people. I ain't trying to make light of the conversation we had, but love on your peoples. We y'all peoples. So
seriously though, condolences to her family and friends, and our prayers with them for real.
It's like I said, we've been there. It's not a good feeling.
Not at all.
And only thing I can say, just you're never gonna forget them. Just think about it, but you gotta think about the good times. So
exactly. And I pray they find a comfort and an understanding, dog. Because
exactly
that's the main thing I'm praying for, bro. Because I know what they're going through right now.
All right. Yeah. Well, fellas, if we have nothing else, let's wrap this thing up. Hey, we will be back Sunday. It's Mother's Day. We're gonna do a little something for the mothers, you know what I'm saying? Show them some love and all that.
Dance.
Daniel might dance. Daniel gonna dance. They on Blake's show, they was talking about you in the bikini that we do sell on our merch site. They was talking about, I was telling them how you said you look good in it. Your wife was you look good in it, man. So.
Chill out.
But hey, you know what I'm saying? Y'all check out our merch site, you know what I'm saying, and everything else. But again.
Also, Friday, tomorrow, I'm going to be on TA show.
Yes.
Tiger Avenue. Okay.
Tiger Avenue.
Yeah, go check them out. Go check out our boys, bro.
First guest appearance, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get like Ann and Pooh Bear, you feel me?
Yeah,
right,
keep trying.
All right. And on that note, we are out.
Yeah.